When a lot of founders think and finally realize that they need someone to take care of customer support or customer success, client support or client success, sometimes they approach this problem as if they're just hiring a warm body to sit on their Zendesk or their Slack. And then they wonder why their churn is going up and they haven't made a new dollar or made a new customer happy, or they haven't had a new 5-star review in a few months now. See, here's the thing that they're missing. Your best customer success hire won't just clear your inbox. They'll catch a refund pattern, an attrition problem, and they will also find other opportunities for you to make the next comma in your P&L, if you know what I mean. I'm Karla Singson of Proximity Outsourcing, and I've had almost a decade of experience in hiring, placing, onboarding, and managing great management and marketing talent from the Philippines and Latin America. I grew up in the Philippines, and in the Philippines, we have a huge range of customer success professionals because we've had a huge history of call centers. When I was in high school, I already remember my classmates telling me that they want to work at a call center because they always paid more, but they're going to make the night shift work. So this call center culture blew up, and now there's so many people that are actually used to working night shifts, and there's also so many talented people in customer support, customer success, client support, client success. And we're so lucky that in my company, in Proximity Outsourcing, in partnership with my husband's company, Get CSM, we have access to some of the best customer success talents. And in this video, I'm going to teach you how to hire a customer success person that does not suck and that actually takes care of your business. Now, in this video, we will cover all customer facing roles and all customer care roles, from the lowest level customer support, taking care of tickets, to the highest level as in a director of client experience or something similar. So let's start. Number one tip is hire for judgment and not just for typing speed. You don't want someone who's merely book smart or knows how to memorize certain scripts, certain templates for when problems come up. You want to see how they approach a solution and how they get into the minds of your customers or of your clients. You want someone who will practice great judgment when they're reading an angry email, and if they understand when they should hold the line and when they should bend maybe a few rules for the good of the company. So for this one, my other side tip would be, don't be so enamored by a resume and instead ask a real scenario. One example would be, what if a customer asks for a refund on day 31, but they are actually on a 30-day refund window limitation? What are you going to tell them? In questions like that or situations like that, there's no perfect answer. Instead, you want to see how they think through this problem, what they're considering, and what types of clarifying questions are they going to ask. Another question I love giving is, you only work between 9 to 5 and you have notifications on your phone, you somehow left them on, and you get a support question Saturday night at 11 p.m. How are you going to approach it, right? Once again, there's no perfect answer. They could have a really good answer saying, I'm going to reply because, and they could also have a very good answer, I'm not going to reply because, right? In fact, I can think of really good answers right now, but I know it's case to case depending on your company culture. So give yourself an opportunity to really get to know them and how they think through these situations. So hire for judgment, not just for resume or whatever their background looks like. Number two, and this is a great test their written empathy. So Jeff Bezos is a huge fan of writing things down and like writing things down to think things through, right? Even Jordan Peterson, who arguably is one of the best thinkers of our generation, one of the best speakers of our generation. You may or may not agree with him, but in the art of public speaking and writing, he's definitely up there. There's a reason why he is famous, right? And so he also says that one of the best ways to process a thought is to write about it. And if you are in any customer facing role, there would be a lot of instances where you're writing to clients. And especially if you're in e-com, you're in SaaS, or you're in an agency where you're writing letters to clients. And of course, thinking about this legally, all of the things that you're writing could be evidence for something, right? Or could be used for maybe like fighting a chargeback or something. You really need to test this. So here's a good way to do it. Send them a nasty email as a customer, of course, as a test, and then see how they will reply. You have to find someone who knows how to de-escalate without groveling, someone who asks really good questions, who sounds human, and who genuinely thinks about the best interest of your customer. And most of all, you want someone who owns the problem and takes accountability without over apologizing. You have to remember that whoever is handling your customer success is the voice of your company. Therefore, they need to make their voice as close to your brand voice as possible. Now, this all may be easier with AI right now. You can keep folders, you can keep files for references, and you can even ask AI to assist you with the tone or the tone of your emails. And if someone approaches the problem with that solution in mind, even, then that's a plus to them. As Filipinos and as people who speak English as a second language, it's very easy to get some of the words that we say lost in translation, or maybe we can't fully understand the context, or we can't fully communicate the thing that we really want to say, right? I've been married to my husband for 3 years now, and we've been together for 4 years, and I speak really good English in terms of grammar. I consider myself pretty advanced, but there are some expressions that he would still correct me with because they're not perfect for the situation, or they're not perfect for the context, or it doesn't really communicate what I was trying to say. It's the same when you hire anywhere offshore. If you're outsourcing offshore, if English is not their first language, there may be something that gets lost in between. So you need to find out if they have the right initiative to even correct how they speak, or to send as best of a message as possible, if you know what I mean. See, that sentence wasn't even perfect, but I'm doing my best here. And of course, I might be a little biased, but here's where Filipino hires secretly outperform, because we are so used to service culture. You already know that Filipinos account for a lot of cruise ship workers, a lot of workers in the F&B industry, in the hospitality industry. And of course, a lot of Filipinos make great nurses and teachers and domestic helpers. And there's a reason for that. We are just a naturally caring and helpful culture. It is just part of our culture and how we are raised. So because of our service-first culture and our near native English fluency, we have a huge advantage in hiring some of the best customer support and customer success talent across all industries. We have a natural warmth that doesn't feel scripted. So, and I think everyone will agree to this. We are just naturally smiley and helpful people, and there's that. So I hope that for your next customer success hire, whatever role that might look like, I hope you have us in mind. Give me a call at Proximity Outsourcing, or check out getcsm.com if you want access to the best customer success teams in the Philippines. Number 3 tip is look for pattern spotters and not just responders. There's a difference between a $9 an hour, super common, super generic call center type virtual assistant versus a $15 an hour operator and thinker. The latter will tell you why the tickets are coming in, whereas the first one will just tell you, hey, there's this much tickets, right? There might not be more nuance, more context to it. And you really want someone who cares about why these tickets are coming in, and someone who will fix that problem, or who can be a proponent to fixing that problem. Like, of course, if something goes wrong in the company, especially if the company is big, it's not customer support's job to fix the thing that needs to be fixing, but it is their job to at least work with the department that is liable, or responsible for all of those mistakes. That makes the customer support tickets go high. So if you have someone who's asking, hey, this week, we have an unusual number of customer support tickets for a shipping delay. Do you want me to draft a proactive email so that this doesn't happen again? Or who do I need to call? Who do I need to talk to fix this? If someone does that, that is a good sign. And you need to start looking for that. You need to start looking maybe in their resume for roles that require initiative before they came into any sort of customer success role. If they were previously a team leader or a manager, that's a good sign too. You need to find people who are used to solving problems and not just answering why the problems are happening. So an easy question for that would be, so maybe today you notice that there's an unusual number of tickets. What do you do? Who would you talk to? What conversations would you be having? And then let them answer that question. Tip number 4 is check time zone reality and not just time zone theory. To be honest, there's so many things that go into great support and into great customer success that it's not just really asking what time zone do they belong to. I want you to look for where they are located, and if there's electricity running there 24/7, how many internet providers do they have? Would your candidate have a backup if the first one doesn't work? And if you're hiring for a customer success role or a client success role, that will require them to be on the camera. You have to check their equipment as well, their background, and of course their accent, how they speak, how familiar are they. So their personal situation, which you may not find on a resume, goes beyond just the time zone and where they are located. Check for these other pieces of context, because all of those things contribute to your customer experience when they're dealing with your customer success team. And lastly, and this is my favorite tip, and I've already told you a little bit of it in the first one, but hire someone who asks you good questions. My favorite way to really measure if someone does well at any customer success job is if they ask good questions and if they approach the process or the problem with curiosity. And what are the quality of these questions? Don't be afraid to dig in and ask about their thought process during the interview. And if you can encourage it more, like say, literally say, what questions would you ask, or what are you wondering about, right? Like those are really good questions or prompts to also prompt them into asking questions. The best customer support hires I've had would ask me questions about my refund policy and why I believe that, why that is my refund policy. They would ask me some stuff about our terms and conditions on our website, and when did we last update them, and what are the reasons for us updating them. They would even be curious and ask us about a really angry, or what is the worst customer like. So I like these questions. It means that they care about the job and they're naturally curious about the types of people that we work with as a company and the type of people that they may be talking to every day. Of course, an interview is not just one way. They're also trying to feel if they belong in your company, if they belong in the company culture, and if they feel that they can grow in your business as well. And last but not the least, of course, if they want you as their boss or as their leader, because these people, they also want to be led, they also want to learn from you, and they also want to grow. So of course, it goes without saying that a great customer success hire is not just a cost center. It is a retention engine. And I would even argue as far as saying that they can even be a revenue driving machine if you know how to use them well. Some of our best CSM hires from getcsm.com, they have helped us make more money by providing upsells and other opportunities for innovating our offer and for even additional contracts by just treating our customers right. So really, they're a retention engine, they're a profit center, and they're even an early warning system, all in one place. So you really have to think about these hires. The problem is, not all founders have the right experience or the right skills to interview and even test for these candidates. Well, good news is that's what we do at Proximity Outsourcing and at getcsm.com. I will leave a link to our calendar if you want to have a conversation about what a great customer success hire for your company will be. We would love to help you out. And if we work together, when we work together, you're going to save 60 to 80 hours of vetting, checking references, interviewing, and you will be handed the top 3 candidates on a platter. So imagine that. And imagine how that would just feel for you as a founder in your business when you have this taken care of. All right, so that's it. I hope that we can work together. Let's find you someone who saves you money and makes you money instead of just answering a few emails. All right, I'll see you next Friday, and definitely hit like and subscribe if you want to hear more advice in growing your online business through outsourcing.